So let's talk about one element of when we think of church attendance and church participation. What's relatively new post pandemic is the virtual community, the Zoom community, church by Zoom, we'll call it. And not that it wasn't a thing at all before, but it just wasn't a way most people practiced their faith or attempted to connect with others of a similar faith. Now, it seems to me this presents both risks and opportunities. The downside is an obvious one, that there's something to be said for the in-person community that comes with being in person every week, seeing the same people and connecting with them well beyond just what you're there for. But on the positive side, it also means you may be able to connect with people who don't live in your town, don't live in your state, don't even live in your country, and that might give you a more global view. Is there anything in your research or in the work that you've done that would indicate that this new era of digital church and digital interactions can help bridge from the past to some version of a future where organized religion looks different?
There are certainly people that want that to be true. I'm not one of them. I don't know of a ton of research yet on digital church kind of practices and attendance or things like that. If attendance is even the right word, viewership, I guess. The reason I'm pretty bearish about it is that I think the mistake that the attractional movement made over the last 40 years in the US is they really did transform what public worship was down to basically you sing some songs, you hear a talk, you sing some more songs, you go. So it reduced church to content, and it really deprived the people attending of any kind of active involvement in the service. So, like at the church I go to, we're a small Presbyterian congregation. Every week, as part of the service, we kneel collectively as a congregation and confess our sins. Every week, we stand up as a congregation collectively as the pastor. It's a theological thing, but the pastor doesn't absolve you in the Presbyterian tradition, but they would say that they give assurance that you're forgiven. And so the pastor will assure us that our sins are forgiven because of the work of Christ. So there's all these participatory elements to the liturgy at our church. And that's not the norm at a lot of churches. And what I think the digital move is it's basically more of the same. It's more church is really just content, and it's more church is really just something you passively consume. And I don't see if the problem is that church community has basically either not existed for people or it's been extremely disconnected from their sense of flourishing and health. I don't see how doubling down on those trends helps us. It seems more like you're just going to keep making it ever more minimal, ever less demanding, ever less serious in order to prop up that number of attendees by saying, well, we had 300 people on the live stream this week.